Hello my friends, my name is Kira Noir and I am happy to welcome you to my mini course EXOSTYLE. Just a reminder that the access to this course is available for 72 hours, so watch it right now, don't put it to the back burner. Now I will outline what this course will cover, then briefly introduce myself, and afterwards we will get started with the practical exercises with Paul. So, what this course is about. It includes 4 lessons where I explain how to achieve your unique dance style in 5 steps. This is a brief breakdown of my signature teaching method, the same approach I use in my main course EXOBASE, which helps my students to transform their technique and uncover their own unique style. We will progress from technique to musicality, refining each stage along the way. In total, we will cover 5 steps: fundamentals, transitions, musicality, upgrades, and creation. And I will demonstrate each step practically on the pole. In this first lesson, we will delve into fundamentals. We will work on the basic elements and you will see how exactly I work on them, how important it is and how deeply we can dive into basic elements and how they can change everything about your dancing. In the second lesson, we will cover the step 2, transitions. This is where we put the elements together to create a seamless, continuous flow. It's not just putting elements together, but learning the techniques of weight shifting to create the magic. In the third lesson, we will explore musicality. The combo that we will learn in the previous lesson, we will put into the music and learn how to connect the movement to the sound to make it emotionally expressive and meaningful. And in the fourth lesson, we will explore upgrades and creation. So we will learn more advanced techniques to work with music by using specific techniques to upgrade the movement technically and emotionally, expressively, to make even more beautiful, interesting, connected, creative choreography. And we will solidify all the steps and discuss how to continue working on your own style. Also, for those who will decide to take it further, I will present my signature course and offer a unique deal. And now let me tell you a little bit about myself so you don't just trust my word, but my experience. So I've been doing pole dancing since 2008. I don't have any professional sports or dance background, but despite that fact, I became a 4-time international pole dance champion. Since 2012, I've been teaching workshops around the world, judging competitions and performing in shows. During 2 years, I worked as a guest performer in the biggest dance circus show in Russia. So far, I traveled with workshops in 60 countries, and very soon I'm going to go to the country 61 to teach workshops. But my biggest achievement that I'm the most proud of is my students. My students become winners of the competitions, choreographers, performers. They open pole dance studios, they organize shows, they launch their pole brands, and the most importantly, they become confident dancers, connected to their body, more expressive, more free in their movement. And this is the most beautiful part of my job, to see them blossom. I have over 10,000 students in different countries, not including my online classes. And after so many years of teaching and traveling, I decided to create my online programs, and now you will be able to join one of them. Here is my Instagram. You can scan this QR code and follow me for more useful tips and inspirational videos. I started my exotic journey when I was already a multiple champion in pole dancing in tricks. So I decided to try it because I was interested now to explore my feminine part, because I was already strong and powerful, and I thought that exotic will be easy for me because I am professional. So I came to my first class thinking that it will be fun, but it was a disaster. My feet were cramping, I felt really clumsy and awkward, and my body felt strangely uncoordinated. And even my strong shoulders that helped me so much in the air doing cool tricks made my movement look really stiff and constrained. And my first thought was that exotic is probably not for me. You know, there are these cat women, they're soft, sensual, and fluid, and they're workhorses. Strong, athletic, tough, like me. But the classes were really fun and I felt so good and feminine until watching the videos. Who can relate? So I kept working and took more and more classes, and eventually I got better until someone called me not such a great copy of one of my teachers. Ouch. That was really unpleasant. So my second thought was, I'll never be as good as them. I'm just not fluid, flexible, and sensual enough. But I was stubborn, so I began trying to create my own choreographies. And right away, I hit the first wall. So I used all the cool and interesting moves in the first choreo, and then when I tried to create the next choreo, it felt like I only know a few moves and all the rest feels just like too boring and repetitive. And I was wondering, how do they make new choreos for every class? And so my third tree was, I'm just not creative. And I started working on technique, video screening transitions, breaking down combos, and trying to understand the logic of connections and weight shifting. And then I discovered that nerdy exploring is fun. In the same time, I started exploring other dance styles, just funk, hip hop, contemporary, waving, popping, house, dance hall, street plastic. I've tried a lot of stuff to see how my body can move, what feels and looks good in my body. And then I realized that the movement quality is the whole new world I want to explore. Textures, intensity, impulse, intention. So I began working with music in a different way. I started building choreographies differently. And it took me years of grinding, but slowly I finally built my own dance style that mixes creative transitions, musicality, and emotional expression. Now people say that I am talented and creative, but I wasn't. I was just stubborn enough to walk this road. There were times when I thought that I wasn't enough. Not flexible enough, not sexy enough, not young enough, not pretty enough, not successful enough, that I needed more and more. More tricks, more acro, more flexibility, more dynamics, more fancy moves, just to feel interesting, just to feel good enough. But throughout my journey in pole, I realized something very important. When you have your own style, you rise above that competition in body abilities. You stop comparing yourself with others. And only one thing matters: how you do it. And now my mission is to help women to express their individuality, so they stop comparing themselves with others and they stop feeling that they're not enough, and they just fully enjoy their own dance journey because they are unique, their bodies are unique, and they can tell their own stories through the movement. It took me many years to go through this transformation, but I built my method to help my students to do it within half a year. And I'm ready to help you to achieve your transformation in pole dance, just as I helped over 10,000 of my students to do so. My students is my biggest inspiration, and I built my program based on their requests, on their problems, to help them to solve exactly the struggles they hit. And a huge amount of beautiful feedback that I receive from my students almost every day proves me that this method works. And I invite you to try these methods on yourself. So now, let's move on to the practical work. Hello my friends, it's Kira Noir, and I am delighted to welcome you to my mini course 5 Steps to Your Authentic Style. I am a multiple world champion in pole dancing, and I've been traveling for over 12 years in 60 different countries. I have over 10,000 students around the world that I have already shared my dancing experience with, and today I am going to share it with you. Let's go! Alright guys, let's go to the practical part. Finally, we are doing it with pole. So, on today's practical lesson, I want to teach you some of the techniques of working with fundamentals, with basic elements. Why it is so important? Because it really doesn't matter how difficult the movements that you do, if the quality of your movement is not that good. So even if the transitions are very complex and interesting and creative, but if the lines are not beautiful, if the body cannot execute, cannot perform the movement with the grace and smoothness and fluidity, it honestly doesn't really make much sense. So in my opinion, in my own experience, to work on your lines, we need to start with fundamentals. And I will give you some examples here. For example, the very basic thing that we can do, steps. Okay? So everyone can do steps, yeah, and our steps can look like this, can look like this, or our steps can look like this. Yeah, so we do very simple element, but we already apply techniques, and I'm not only talking about pointing toes. This is not the only thing that creates our lines, but how we engage and balance all our body by doing very simple moves. So let's do some steps. Yeah, we are going to start with very simple steps behind the pole, just stepping across. So I'm going to start with the inside leg. At the moment it's my left leg. Yeah, I'm going to step, then shift my weight to the hip, and then slide the back leg. Again, step, shift the weight, and slide. Now let's dive deeper into details, because basically you can do, okay, step, shift the weight, slide. Yeah, and it doesn't look that smooth and graceful. So first, when I shift my weight, what I do, I push from hip to hip. I move from hip to hip, pushing them outwards. And the very first movement that you need to do, yeah, is to just push one hip out, another hip out, and feel how smoothly you can shift your weight. Yeah, and it's not just inclining, but literally bending one leg. Yeah, so one hip goes down, another hip goes out. And this simple move actually lies in almost every movement when we dance. because our hips create the magic. So when I start my first step, I don't just bring the leg forwards, but what I do, I drop my hip, the hip of the moving leg down, so all the weight goes to the standing leg. So in my case, the standing leg is the right leg, yeah, and so the right hip goes out. So the left leg can easily, because it doesn't have any weight, can easily move forward, yeah, and then from here, I start shifting my weight by pushing the hip. And I just want you to feel it, how you move right hip, left hip, how smoothly you shift your weight. And if in the same moment you will open your chest, open your shoulders, lift your diaphragm, yeah, so this will create really nice line. And one more little secret, look, I push with the back heel from the floor, yeah, so I smoothly send my weight forward, boom. So now my weight is on the left leg, on the front leg, yeah, and the hip is out. And then I slide my back leg, and you see when I do it, the hip stays down, yeah, and so this leg is free and it can do another step. And then I again send my weight forward to the right hip, pushing with the back heel, yeah, so now this hip is out. And then we slide again. So when I do these steps, yeah, you can see how much I move my hips. So let me face you, so you can see more the hips. Yeah, so when I'm here, the right hip is out. Yeah, I step, and then when I shift my weight, the hip goes out. Yeah, here, the hip here, hip on the right. Slide, hip on the right, step, hip on the left. And if you will just walk like this slowly, shifting your weight from hip to hip, you will already feel how much smoother your walk gets. Yeah, and now I'm exaggerating it. I don't always use it that much. Sometimes I want to be a little more lyrical, yeah, so I don't really push it that much. I'm just trying to make it super visible for you, yeah, but for example, if it's more lyrical, instead of engaging that much of my hips, yeah, I open more my chest, you know, because sexy is here, all the drama is here, yeah, our little secret. And then I will still move from hip to hip, but I will more open the chest, so the hip movement will not look that huge, but still we're gonna have this very smooth weight shift. Okay, so this very little thing that like just steps, yeah, but while we use these techniques, we kind of start to understand a lot about transferring our weight. Okay, and so imagine if we make it a little bit harder. For example, we still do the same steps, but we want to start bending our legs, because when we bend our legs, yeah, we start changing the level. So we start to make movements a little bit more complex. Okay, so we're still doing very basic move, but yeah, I will level up a little. So I do the same step, shift my weight, and now I want to bend my knee. If you will just, like, if I ask you just to do it the way you want to do it, you will step, bend your knee, slide the leg, step, bend your knee, slide the leg, yeah, and you see what happens? You have this full foot on the floor, which makes your lines a little less beautiful. It can work for hard style. Yeah, sometimes when we dance more aggressively, and in hard style we are less elegant and more like animal energy, yeah, so we can be on our full foot,
But when I do it like this, I still use a lot of my hips and engage a lot my body, and I do bounce as well. So it is also stylish. But I will not talk about hardstyle at the moment. I want to focus on flow. Just wanted to let you know that it doesn't mean that you can't ever put your heels down. But when we talk about lines in flow style, we try to point everywhere when it's possible. So look, what's going to happen here? Same, I do the step, yeah, I send my weight forward, and I want to bend this knee, but look, I also send my heel up so I can keep pointing my toes. And look, the back leg obviously also goes up with the heel. So if you look at both legs, yeah, both of the heels are going up, and I shift my weight forwards. Whoa. Again, important part that I don't want to round my back. I always want to open the chest and shoulders, and this is part of your lines because we're talking about lines. So lines are not only pointed toes. And now, okay, if I want to slide my leg, cannot do it, yeah, because all the weight is shared at the moment between two legs, and so if I start sliding this leg, I just can't, yeah, I use it. So I need to transfer my weight somewhere else. What I do, I start using my bottom hand. So I start pushing away from the pole, so I send my weight that direction because I push, and I am able to slide. And yeah, you see, I can keep pointing my toes, and then I pull myself up, yeah, finishing up the move. And then again, I do another step, bend, yeah, push, I start turning, I start pushing so I can slide my back leg, and again I pull up. Yeah, and what is interesting, when you make those steps more smoothly without stopping, you start using your hand even when you do the step. Yeah, so I can do a step like this, but if I want to step a little bit further away, I already have to use my hand because, yeah, if it's close, it's okay. But if I want to step there, you feel that awkward moment, yeah, that you like start falling there. So it means that to shift your weight to that place, you need to go through something. Now we can go through pole. So we start putting our weight to the pole. Yeah, so I start pushing with the left hand, and I can use it to step further away. Yeah, and then whoop, I bend, push, and slide, and go up, and step, and push and slide, and up, whoop. Yeah, so you see, this is still a very basic move. We just do steps, but step by step, we're building the technique of weight shift, yeah, of opening, like engaging all parts of our body, including our hands a lot. And like this, we learn to do even simple moves with this beauty and grace. And then when we will do harder transitions, yeah, we're gonna use the same technique. So for example, I can do this easy step. Yeah, I can do this bigger step. I can do another big step, and I can go into a nice transition using the same technique, using the same step. Okay, so this is for you an example how we can, starting from very simple elements, how we can develop it to make something much more interesting, much more beautiful, much more complex. Yeah, so one more time, when we do this, what's important? Where we keep our weight and by pushing our hips. Yeah, so always I use my hips when I do it. Then the second thing, I send my weight forwards by lifting the heels. Yeah, so this is another important technique that we do. and I recommend you to try to do it in every element that you do. Yeah, and the other thing is that we use our hands. Our hands are super important, and this is actually how we create flow. Yeah, that we can shift our weight from one position to another position smoothly. This journey between A and B is the transition, and it can be like or from here smoothly to the second one, and very often for that we use our hands. Yeah, so we can in every single position. Yeah, when I shift my weight, it looks very smooth because I always pull and push and transfer my weight. Okay, so about this more complex stuff we are going to talk as well, but a little bit later. So I want to talk a little bit more about pointed toes. Yeah, and I know that it really depends on the style, and also if you are a very beginner, it might be really difficult. And you actually can try to do this class without heels. For example, when I teach my EXO-based course, all the technique I explain first without heels, so you can more focus on what your body is feeling. Yeah, without thinking how to not break your legs. Yeah, so first you work on technique of your body, and then all the same exercises we do already in heels, so your body knows what to do. Yeah, and then you can focus on exactly the heels. Okay, so I want to give you this little exercise that will help you a lot in almost all the moves. So usually when we bend our knees, yeah, from a straight line, yeah, we start having this angle. So to point our toes, we need to learn how to bend, yeah, keeping the straight line. So we're gonna start working on one leg. Yeah, so one will be flex. Yeah, so flex and point. One will be standing on the floor. We're gonna use it for our weight. Another one we point and we try to keep the same line. And we learn, okay, we go down and we focus, we control. Where is that leg? Yeah, and then we're gonna put it a little bit behind, and we're gonna try to put all platform to the floor, the whole platform. Yeah, so we're gonna try to keep this line flat, yeah, straight line, and we bend, you see, full platform. So knee goes down, one straight line, and we go up. Again, we go down and we go up. Yeah, and you can try the same with another leg. So the weight is on the flex foot, and here we point, we keep it straight. We want to touch the full platform to the floor, straight line, and we go up. And again, down and up. Yeah, this is just to understand, but now, yeah, it's easy when you have your weight on the other leg. Yeah, and this one actually flex. So you need to learn to do the same with both of your legs point. And we start by very simple exercises. Yeah, so you just try to lift your heels, yeah, to go on both feet point. And this is actually a very nice exercise for your ankles. Yeah, and you're gonna really use it a lot while dancing. Yeah, and then you try to point and bend. Yeah, and you keep point and you start to slowly bend just to feel how you still balancing on your toes. Yeah, and it's not the same as lifting your heels a little and then going down. You see we have this angle, we should not have it. Yeah, so what you can also try to do, we go to this flex feet, we take the pole, and now what's interesting, we're gonna use our hands. Yeah, as soon as I start pointing my toes, yeah, because I am a little bit more advanced, I can balance well, But if you step a little further or go a little lower, you're gonna feel it much more. So we start using our hands to pull and push. So we share the weight between our legs and our hands, yeah, and we can take off our heels. So if you're more advanced, you just go further away and you're gonna feel it. And you go lower. The lower you go, the more you feel it. Yeah, and then you point and flex. Point and flex. And this is not point, okay? If I just take off my heels, but the line is not straight, yeah, it's not point yet. Point is when you fully push your heel forwards, that you start feeling it in your ankle, and then the line is straight. So you just train it like this, yeah, and then when it works well, you go up and down and keep it point. And from here, if you want to take it to the harder level, again, depending on how advanced you are, because if you're a very beginner, it might be a little bit too hard today, but you can try later. So you can go lower, yeah, and from here, yeah, from fully sitting position, using your hands, you can go point and down, and then push, point, and back. Yeah, so you see, I use my hands a lot. So I couldn't do it without hands. Yeah, so in the same time, we are training our feet, and in the same time, we are learning to shift our weight from here, from the legs, to the hands. I'm pulling and pushing. To the knees, no hands again. Now start pushing and pulling, so the weight is on my arms and I push it backwards, and then fully to the legs. So we learn to transfer our weight, and we learn to point our toes. And as well, of course, we train our arms because we pull up a lot. Yeah, and so you try, take, fully point through the platform to your knees. Yeah, push and pull, point through the platforms to the heels. Please do not do this, okay? If you have the angle here, this is a mistake, okay? And so the price of this mistake is that you drop to your knees with all your weight, and you can actually injure your knees. Yeah, we don't want that. So it's really important that you fully use your platform first, and then gradually put the knee down, okay? So later, you can try this exercise already from, for example, from this position on one hand. Again, later, if you're a bit more advanced. So you can, again, start here, you point, and then you shift your hips forwards and shoulders backwards, and you gently land, yeah? To lift up is harder, but to go down is actually a very nice exercise to build strength on your ankles, but please be careful, all right? This is a little more advanced technique. But this is, my goal here is to show you how we can work with simple stuff to build harder technique. And for example, when you work a lot on this technique, it will allow you later, yeah, to do something like this. Yeah, so very controlled drop that looks like a big drop. Very emotional, expressive movement, but it's super easy to do if you know how to use your platforms and know how to distribute the weight between the knees and the feet. Okay, so this was about the feet, yeah, about how we can train our ankles to point our toes. And now I also want to talk about one of the most beautiful exotic elements, that actually dance element, not exotic, dance element, called a wave. Okay, so we have 7, the main core basic elements. Yeah, it's steps, slides, pirouettes, circles, for example, chest, hip, head. It is plie, plie when we go down, and a butterfly, butterfly. So these are the basic elements, and all the rest elements are actually built on the base of these elements. So in dancing we have hundreds, thousands of movements, but if you simplify them, if you take the core of it, it will be one of this, okay? And that's why it is so important to learn all of these basic elements and explore them and really feel that you can do them. I don't like the word perfectly, but you can really you understand it. Your body, every single part of your body understand how to do it, and you can make any of these movements look the way you want it. And so here I'm just giving you examples, and in my main course in the EXOBase we learn all of these basic elements, all 7, without heels and heels, and then variations, so how we can develop each of the elements to make it different, to make it more complex, different options. And so now I want to show you a little bit about the wave, because wave is one of the main elements of dancing, and I want to focus your attention on how many interesting, important things we can explore here to make the wave look super juicy, big or small, detailed or smooth or sharp, like many options, and how we work on it. So usually when you learn the wave, you're like, okay, I know how to do a wave, and this is the wave, and this is okay. So you open your head, and then you incline, and then you round, and then you sit, lift your hips, and stand up. This is a wave, but it's actually, this is already good if you can do it like this, but there's so much more to build and so much deeper we can go into this technique by engaging different parts of our body. So let me start with the very basic. First, when I do the wave, I lift my head, so chin goes up, and then what we think, we incline? No, before we incline, we actually open our shoulders, shoulders, then we lift our diaphragm, head, shoulders, diaphragm. Only then, we can incline, engaging our lower back, and from here, chin goes in, diaphragm goes down, shoulders in, pelvis to the front. I start bending my knees, rounding my spine, and from here, from this very round position, I start pushing my hips backwards, squeezing the shoulder blades, again chin goes up, and from my chest, rib cage, I raise up. Okay, so there are a lot of things. And for some of you, you might already knew it, but let me give you this little exercise, that will actually unlock some new feelings and maybe new level of doing the wave. I want to focus your attention on your diaphragm. How do we feel it? We need to inhale with the chest and exhale. And I want you to breathe. Okay, not just watch me breathing because I know how to do it, but I want you to try and to breathe. Inhale, exhale. And it's not the same as moving your shoulders. Yeah? Shoulders, diaphragm. And now let's try to do this. We open our shoulders, yeah, so we roll them backwards. And now keep them open and try to use your diaphragm. Okay, now we're gonna close our shoulders and use the diaphragm. Yeah, so we need to separate it because usually we just say chest. Yeah, the chest, because this is the where it all located. But when we say chest, it can be shoulders, it can be diaphragm. And so, for example, I can move my shoulders. Yeah, I can move my diaphragm, and I don't move my shoulders now. Yeah, so shoulders, diaphragm. I usually say chest when I say shoulder, because diaphragm is more like biological from medicine, somewhere there, yeah, and chest kind of sounds a little bit more, you know, common, human, right? But I really want you to feel it, that you can separate it. And then, why it's so important? For example, when I start doing the wave, yeah, I go here, and then before I just roll everything, I want to feel this soft, yeah, this inside, like it's the wave. The most beautiful, in my opinion, part of the wave happens when you start bone by bone rounding your spine. So from this very open position, when everything is engaged, you open in shoulders and diaphragm in head and lower back, and from here you start exhaling. Yeah, so first the diaphragm with shoulders, but your lower back is still arching, and only then you go into your lower back. So look, between fully rounding, yeah, and fully arching, you can also feel how you engage your lower back. Yeah, so now this movement, this exercise called isolation, yeah, and I give you this extra technique to your fundamentals, to the wave. Yeah, when we open, when we engage our shoulders and chest, yeah, and we arch the lower back, and we keep opening the chest, yeah, shoulders and chest, and we close the lower back. Arch and round. Arch and round. Arch and round. And you can try doing the same when you're in a more arched position. Yeah, boom. This is the chest, yeah, and from here it goes to the lower back. Open, close, close, open, open, close, close, open, open. And this little thing, yeah, maybe when you do it first time, your body is confused, your brain is confused, and you're like, it feels like I don't have a chest, I don't have lower back, I don't have hips, I just have core. And the whole core is like, can either close or open. But guys, believe me, if you try it today, tomorrow, next week, next week, next week, just keep trying. Trust me, you will start feeling it. And your wave from this, yeah, is going to look like this, and then like this, yeah, and then you will start feeling more of this little, you know, the shades of the different, yeah, colors of the wave. Okay, so another technique we can put on the top of the wave, yeah, is, for example, bending your legs while doing the wave. Yeah, so I do the wave and I bend one leg and then I extend it, continue the wave, bend another leg. Again, extend, bend, extend, bend, extend. So I'm like one by one bending and extending my legs, and I still keep doing the wave. Yeah. And okay, I'm just showing it here now. In my course, I'm like explaining how we can combine all the techniques together. Yeah. Or for example, when you do the wave, you can in the same time fully, for example, go down. Yeah, it's also the wave. Or for example, you can do the wave and in the same time you can let's say change the angle. Yeah, so for example, you start your wave this direction and you finish up facing the other side. Yeah, and there are a lot of things. And why I'm saying it, it means that just knowing how to do a wave doesn't mean that you know everything about waves. But if you explore one movement, you take one wave and you learn how to do this one movement in 10 different variations. And then later you learn another variations, and then you don't have this 7 moves anymore, you have 70 moves. And then you have 700 moves, and then you have 7,000 moves. Just because instead of only learning new movements, new transitions, you go deeper into the technique of every single movement. And then if you learn one new move, you straight away can apply all these techniques of beautiful execution, of different execution, and you can make so many moves out of one. Yeah, so every new move is like plus 100 moves for you. Okay, so I also want to give you one more little example of how we can play with a butterfly, okay, because this is also one of the basic moves that I really like. And I will not go to the very beginning of the butterfly. Yeah, I will just show a little how we can upgrade it, how we can make it nicer, harder, more beautiful. Yeah, so what is a butterfly? This is a butterfly. Yeah, so we transition on the platforms of our shoes from one knee to another. Yeah, basically from your knees to your knees by doing a circle. Yeah, so I start on my knees. Yeah, and then I shift my weight to my feet by opening the legs and shifting my weight. Yeah, and then from my platforms, I again move to another knee and close. Yeah, so I don't want to stop very big details into this move, but I will give you an example how we can make it look very different. Yeah, if we just change our lines a little and open our chest a lot. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to do the same move. Yeah, but when I open and when I start shifting my weight backwards, instead of just hanging on my arm, yeah, and opening the legs and just hanging here, yeah, having my hips down, what I will do, I will lift my chest and my hips up by pulling up a lot in my shoulder and opening my, squeezing my shoulder blades and opening my chest as much as possible. So from this shape, yeah, I start falling backwards and I pull up, lift my chest and also lift my hips. Boom. So you see the position instead of this goes into this. Yeah, and then I finish the move. So this one is way more advanced, yeah, and I know maybe for you watching and you're like, oh my god, how it got so complicated. We were doing steps and it was very simple. But I am showing this to make you understand that even very simple moves we can make way more complex, way more interesting, expressive, and advanced, basically, yeah, by just going deeper into the technique. Yeah, so maybe for you at the moment this butterfly is too hard, yeah, and you need a simple butterfly, but this means that if you like don't be lazy, yeah, and just like I don't want to do these basic elements, give me choreography, I want to enjoy the choreography, dance it with music. Yes, I know guys, I definitely know, and I also love dancing with music. It's my favorite part, the most emotional. We all want choreographies, but let's be honest. When you dance a choreo, you probably enjoy it, and then you look at the mirror or look at the video. Yeah, mirror usually lies, but when you look at the video and you're like, why it doesn't look as good as I want? I imagined it so beautifully. Yeah, in my mind I was really like dancing so smoothly and expressive, and now when I look at the video, it's not like this. Yeah, so guys, this is exactly what you need to focus on if you want to make the movement look how you imagine it. Yeah, so I will come back to this move and I will explain you a little more. So when I say arch, yeah, what, like you look at this butterfly and you think, okay, well, she opens her chest, right? So she's arching. This is correct. Yes, I am arching, but I'm not arching down, yeah, like relaxing and opening that way. Instead, I'm arching up by lifting my chest up. Yeah, because if I am in this shape and I'm just arch and I still hang and I try to arch, probably will be only my head, maybe my hips as well, but it's not going to look like this. So to arch in a butterfly, I need to go up, and this is more a powerful move. It is a lot in my shoulders and shoulder blades. Yeah, so when I open here, I start engaging my shoulder blade a lot and my shoulder, and I pull up and it allows me to lift the hips. Yeah, but the hips is not the hardest part. The hardest part is this, the shoulders. Yeah, this. Yeah, how much I can pull up on the shoulder blade. And so it's pulling up, opening the chest, yeah, lifting the hips, and then going down. Okay, so that means that when you think you need to arch pretty often, it means that you need to engage instead of, yeah, just like relax and bend. What you need to do is to squeeze your shoulder blades and shoulders and lift your diaphragm. Yeah, and it's often in other moves we have the same thing. Yeah, so for example, if I just like arch is this, but when I go up into the wave here, what I do, I use a lot my shoulder blades to lift the chest and keep my shoulders down. So then the wave looks much bigger. Yes, so this you will slowly learn by doing all these techniques in every single movement and every single basic movement. You will learn how to build your muscles to create those lines. Yeah, I hope that now at this point you already understand that when I say lines, I don't mean that you just point your toes and extend your knees, because yes, for example, when we do this move, it is important to point our toes and extend the knees. But let's also see how important to round first. Yeah, create a really nice round here. Then we go up, keep the shoulders on the same spot, engage the shoulder blades, drop the head, open the arm, and then go up. And so all of these things create our lines, not only knees and toes, right? And in this one class, I cannot teach you everything. Obviously, it's too much information, but I am trying to show you how many aspects we need to cover, yeah, and I'm trying to show you also all the benefits that you can get if you work on the lines. And I want to remind you, yeah, that I see, yeah, it's my own idea. Obviously, some other teachers can think another way, but what I see that we have this few basic elements, yeah, and they're very simple. I already told you: steps, slides, pirouettes, circles, waves, plies, and butterflies. And we need to first understand the basics, and then in every single element we need to learn how to engage all parts of our body to make them look beautiful, so you understand what means big, because big means that you engage this, and that. What means smooth? Because smooth means that you engage this, shift your weight there, and then, you know. So this is how I see really deep work with fundamentals. And now I was trying just to show you how I do it, but obviously we need to take all the elements and separately work on all of them, yeah, to build this strong base for your dancing, for your beautiful movement. And this is exactly what I do in my course. And now I was trying in like half an hour, or maybe, I don't know, like 40 minutes. I don't know how long it's probably already 1 hour, I don't know. Yeah, to show you how it works. But yeah, in the course it takes around 12 hours, where we go through all of them. We do it together, so you just repeat, you follow the program. And because you know what's the big difference with when you just listen, yeah, is one thing, but when you watch the video and you do it, you're basically already doing it. So the bonus of our classes, yes, that you learn and practice in the same time, yeah. And obviously just by doing this all these elements once, yeah, you will already build that connection. And the more you apply the techniques to the basic elements, the more your body understands, and your body is so smart. It learns. And then when you will try to do another movement a little bit more difficult, yes, so for example, the movement I showed you in the beginning, yeah, is that step with bent leg, is the pirouette, and from here it's actually the butterfly, what I've just taught you now. Yeah, and it's just like I put these few moves together and apply the techniques that I told you, and from these basic moves we build this very nice transition, yeah. And this transition without technique would look like this: step, turn, and butterfly. Yes, but if we apply all the techniques, it's going to look much bigger. So in this class, I will not teach you how to make these transitions. This is what we are going to do on the next class, because the part of it is to learn how to shift the weight while going from one movement, from one element to another. And if you guys want to learn it, please follow the next class.
All right, my friends, in this lesson we broke down the first step, fundamentals. And you could see how important is that, because without basic elements, without building this strong connection with your body and understanding how to make each movement look a certain way, it's actually really difficult to dance expressively, to work on the next level on styling moves. So first we need to build the fundamentals, and then we can continue working on the next steps. If you feel, guys, that you need more time to work on those elements, feel free to come back to the beginning of this video and go one more time or as many times as you need to really practice it and feel it with your body. But don't forget that you only have 72 hours access to this course. I deeply value the opportunity to teach. I am in the offline classes, and it's great that we can always come back, like scroll back and do the same part as many times as needed until you really feel that you understand it. Okay, so next we will break down 4 more steps: transitions, musicality, upgrades, and creation. All these steps are the part of my signature teaching method. Of course, it's impossible to share everything within just 4 lessons. That's why I would love to invite you to a full journey with me in my EXO-based course. At the moment, enrollment for the course is closed, but you can join the wait list. The button is right below this video. The waitlist gives you the priority access to the course and the best offer. And I have a little bonus for you. If you join the waitlist for the EXO-based course, you will receive 3 extra days of the access to this EXOSTYLE course. So at the moment you have 72 hours access to the course, and if you join the waitlist for the EXO-base, you will get 3 more days for this course. All you need to do is to join the waitlist for the EXO-base, and please respond to the managers when they contact you, because they will give you the extra 3 days access to this course.